What's good, Poke fans? Welcome back to the Premier Draft League Season 6. This is our singles draft league analysis section of the stream. Next week, of course, is going to be the doubles side of things. So if you want to check out the doubles side of the draft league, come out next week. We will be doing another one of these with Yimish Tortuga. But today, we are joined by the one and only official_2e5 on Twitter. You can follow all of us on the screen there. So if you want to check out the rest of our stuff. How you doing, Tui?
Why did you call me off guard when you said Pokey fans and not Chaotix?
I know, right?
Oh no, I was almost on the floor. I was just, because I'm not muted, I was just trying not to giggle. Okay, yeah, I'm ready. I'm prepared. Thanks,
so what we're going to be doing for this stream right now is going over the draft picks for the single side of the division. And make sure you go check out all these links here. You can check out Tui's channel, my channel, Visible Corporations, our combined channel, and of course all the Twitter and Twitch and everything. It's all there. So please go support us if you want more content from us, if you enjoy our commentary, or if you enjoy everything here. And honestly, just check us out because both of us are competitors in the singles side of the tournament. Part of what the stream also will be is there's going to be minimal interaction with the chat, and I apologize for that. I know I like to interact with the chat. We're going to be in the chat in between, like when the other person's talking, and we're also going to be trying to keep this not an eternity long, so we're going to try to limit as much as we talk about throughout the draft. So we're going to be about a minute per Pokemon for each of us, so that should be a nice stream. Huey, anything for you before we jump into the number one and first pick?
I'm very excited to get into this and give my analysis on this draft, which I think was interesting, actually, the draft and how it went. It caught me off guard, actually, some of the picks that were taken early, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, definitely went thrown for a loop right off the bat. And so, without further ado, friends, let's just jump into the first overall pick. And if you don't know, the champion from the previous season retains the first overall pick. We don't technically have a champion from last season because our champion is in the doubles. So we went back to season 4's champion, which is yours truly. And I got the first draft pick. So I went and chose Rillaboom, our mascot for season 6. And this is a good grab for me. I just finished doing my own draft analysis video on my channel, so if you want to see that when these are over, you can check that out. But Rillaboom is a very offensive Pokemon that also can be defensive as well. Something I didn't get to use very well last season, and I really wanted a chance to use again, so I drafted it first overall. I knew I wouldn't get past the first round with this Pokemon. I knew essentially the next pick was going to take it, so I wanted to grab it immediately and get going. So I had it, and I think it's a good start to a team. It's a nice Fire, Water, Grass core base, and a nice, powerful Pokemon that can be run either way, and good utility on Rillaboom, honestly. So it's going to be a very fun Pokemon, and look out, opponents.
Well, as Kev said, he wasn't sure it was going to make it past the next pick. That would be true, because I was going to take it. Ruined my day when I saw it about number one. Got very good stats, very good attack and HP. Base stats, very nice. Good Parvicore, and I actually was hoping this would sink a bit, get to me, but alas it did not, and Chaos absolutely shut up, Alexa. Got a very good pick right underneath my nose and caused my day to be ruined, but a very good pick, because it's got very good base stats, as all starters do.
Okay. And you're going to pick the next one, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was me having it. So the next pick was myself. The number 2 pick was Dragapult. Is it Dragapult or Dragapult?
Dragapult.
Dragapult. The Dragon goes up tier 1. Bit of a break from tradition of me, because normally I traditionally start with very low tiers on my first pick. But this year, I went for high. Reason I went for this Pokemon is quick. 140 base speed off the top of my head. Got very good base speed, very good base attack and special attack. It is quick and it will cause damage. Also, a Dragon Ghost type, good coverage of types. It's a new Pokemon, one of my favourites of the new generation, and I wanted to use it, so I made sure I got it.
I low-key wanted this never to be drafted by anybody, but here it is, round 1, second pick overall. as Stewie mentioned, very fast and very offensive Pokemon. Has a really nice signature move that can hit multiple times. So like things like with Sturdy or things that are, disguised. That's not going to work on a Mimikyu because it's a Dragon type move. But, things that are going to be able to, take a hit and, they don't have that chance now. And it's a very fast Pokemon too, so it really nice grab on speed tiers. I'm surprised too he actually grabbed something in tier 1 first overall instead of a Dugong in tier 5. That's very weird. But I do think it's a great pick, and honestly not what I expected to see coming out of Tubi's corner in the first round. Just a solid overall Pokemon, a great start to a team, nice beginning to a Fairy Dragon Steel Core. And we could see some pretty awesome Pokemon with this. It's pronounced Dragapult. There you go, because it is a G in it, not a C. Yeah. Next up on our team list is the Lunar Mountain Lycanrocs, and they're going to grab Alakazam in tier 1 with a nice Psychic typing. Alakazam, known as one of the fastest Pokemon out there, and also one of the biggest special attackers on the metagame. Got a lot of coverage in just about every type, honestly. It is pretty solid around the board, which makes it kind of hard to deal with, but, it is very fragile, so that is something to think about. Just got good coverage moves, can pretty much be used in any situation. Focus Sash could be something we see around with this to kind of mitigate the damage getting one shot, so could sit around there and do a lot of things and be really good for this team. Interesting to see how it's going to work out this season.
With Alakazam, as you say, it's one of the best special attackers. But the problem is it is a bit frail. It's a bit of a glass cannon almost. A very, very low base. And still quite good special defense. But if you hit it with a physical Bug, Dark, or Ghost, it's going to go down. No, it's in trouble. However, with it being so quick and having special attack, even if it does go down one hit, it's very likely it's going to have got some damage off before. Good. Also with a Psychic type, still quite a good type to have around, and it's you're going to cause some damage with it. Next pick was once again the Lunar Mountain Lycanrocs. They picked Incineroar, the Fire Starter Tier 3. I'm not surprised this went in the second round, because Incineroar is known to be a very good Pokemon, very good typing of Fire and Dark. As you can expect with a starter, got very good all-round stats, particularly the attack, and the HP, but even around that, the defense and special attack and special defense are still in the 80s and 90s. A little bit by it being a little bit slower than the rest, however, I think that makes up for it having the really good all-round stats. Plus with Intimidate, that's going to cause some problems.
Yeah. And good point brought up in the chat. We only have three teams at this moment in time because we had somebody drop out of the league. We will get to the next person and they get 2 picks back to back later on. So that's why Lunar Mountain Lycanrocs are having 2 in a row. Here comes our first snipe for me of the draft, Incineroar. It's something I was really looking at using. I've used it a lot in the past. Very nice Pokemon with Intimidate. Can be an absolute tanky defensive Pokemon that just can deal out some damage too. So a starter Pokemon are notorious for being able to run in a lot of different ways, sort of like mythic Pokemon. They have, obviously starter Pokemon are going to have something they're good at, Incineroar being defensive and has a good attack stat. But also, it could be run differently depending on how the coach wants to run it. There's a lot of things that Incineroar can do. Parting Shot is something that we could see on the table. Fake Out, Knock Off. A lot of ways to kind of shut down other defensive walls on opposing teams and stop the opponent. So a very good pick, I think, here. I think Incineroar is a nice bargain. It really kind of, in my opinion, should be tier 2, but it's a nice bargain in tier 3. Moving on to our next pick on the Derby Dawn fans, we're grabbing Hatterene, a Psychic and Fairy type, a new one in Sword and Shield. So we're seeing some Sword and Shield Pokemon Gen 8 represent in the Derby Dawn fans. But Hatterene, it's kind of a cool Pokemon. Wasn't expecting to see it in singles that much. It's much known for being a Trick Room setter in doubles, but Hatterene is a very good special attacker. It's kind of like Alakazam, just really good in special attack. It's kind of slow though, but it does have access to things like Trick Room, so it could obviously run something like that. I think it pairs excellently with Dragapult. a great Fairy Dragon core right there, just a nice steel type to round it out. I think we'll get to that later, but this thing has some nice coverage too, and just can be powerful. So it could be something that does some work this season. Don't sleep on Hatterene.
Don't sleep on Hatterene, indeed. As Kale said, it is 30 base speed, one of the slowest mons in the entire league, but you will see, as you said, it has got access to Trick Room, but one of its abilities that I particularly looked at was Magic Bounce, which will be very useful as it can remove hazards. But as you said, it pairs well with Dragapult in being Fairy Dragon Steel core. But it's not just, it's got very good special attack as well with 136 base, good typing. I wanted to see how it did, but you are right, it is probably more the doubles than a singles mon. So then our next pick is the Quenvika Syndical Quills. First pick, and they picked in Tier 1 Blaziken, the fire fighting type. As you can expect, with it being a starter, it's going to have very good all-round stats. As Chaos mentioned, with Incineroar, it's going to have something it's going to be good at, particularly in this one is attack with Blaziken, with slightly higher attack stats. Stick this with speed boost, you're going to cause havoc. This is a very good mon all-around. It gets access to a U-turn, if I'm not mistaken. Might be completely wrong.
I think you're wrong.
I think Blaziken has access to U-turn, which is quite a good way of causing damage and getting out if need be. Definitely gets access to knock-off. I know that for a fact, which is always a positive. I think this is a very good pick. I'm a little bit surprised Blaziken went first pick.
Do you say that, and I'm just completely on the opposite side of that. You put Cuernavaca in your team names to the people. Sure, yeah, I get it. But thank you again, Soy, for jumping in the league after the second round and starting on a little bit of a disadvantage here since some of the other coaches already had 2 picks. But again, Tui missed one massive thing on Blaziken, and that is speed boost as its ability. Blaziken can sit there, Swords Dance first turn, or get a Protect or something off, basically, and then just set itself up to run teams. So, very fast and powerful Pokemon. Another thing that was sniped for me, another of my fire types that were taken from me, and I'm upset about it. But very, very fast and powerful Pokemon. And it can be run both physically and specially. So, Blaziken's got some nice utility. Pretty nice physical power, physical fire type move in Blaze Kick that can be interesting to see. And also, it's a fire kick. Like, how you're not going to like that. Fiery Chicken's going to do a lot of work. Nice tier 1 grab. Honestly, could be, disqualified from the league because it's just so good. But, we're giving it a shot this season, and let's see if Blaziken run some fades. Up next, thank you again, Soy, for sniping me. Rotom Wash. Tier 2. A nice tanky water and electric type. One of the best typings out there because, again, it's really only weak to grass since it has levitated its ability. Can be run defensively, can be run as a pivot with Volt Switch. Got nice utility in things like 100 Pump or Thunderbolt, or can run Hex and status moves. So Rotom's got a lot of things it can do. Nice powerful Pokemon, and I'm gonna be interested to fight this thing if it comes my week, and I'm upset, but enjoy.
I'm pleased to hear I wasn't the only one that was sniped with this mon. I also wanted Rotom Wash. As Curse was saying, good pivot with Volt Switch. Got a very good access to move pool. Levitate as well, so ground ain't going to do anything to it. Attack and special defense stats. All 4 of us wanted a Rotom Wash because I think it's one of the cooler types. Yeah, very good pick. That's a very good, solid first 2 picks for Sully with a fire and a water type, effectively. In the next pick was Chaos 6 and the Detroit Red Wing.
You were cutting out big time.
Obviously got Disguise. Ghost Fairy type, very nice stats. So with having Disguise, you got at least one hit, tank a hit. Is that okay now?
No, we're having really bad audio. You just stopped talking for like a minute there.
Oh, I was actually. Oh no.
Welcome to
Uh,
welcome to the a nice
uh,
internet connection here, friends.
um, but can I be heard at the moment?
Yes,
So okay,
just go again.
we'll hope for the
Take
best.
two.
Yeah, mimic you. What was
What was?
take two people?
All right, go.
I have no idea what you just said. Mimikyu obviously got a very nice typing in fairy and ghost. I've completely blanked on Mimikyu's stats. It's ghost and fairy. Disguise obviously means it's going to tank at least one hit before it can go down. HP is a bit below average, but it makes up for the rest of his stats being very solid in the, except for special attack, which isn't really special attack. Which is alright, because I think Mimikyu's more of a physical attacker anyway. I like this mon. You snipe me. I hate you.
I honestly wouldn't have sniped you if I didn't get sniped myself, sir. But yeah, Mimikyu grabbing onto my team. I wanted to start building the cores. Obviously, start with Fireworks Grass the first round, but Mimikyu starts my Fairy Dragon skill core as a fairy type. It was something I looked at using, primarily looked at it in VGC when the game was released, but never got a chance to use it. So I mean, I bred one competitively. I have one. So I'm excited to use it this season. Again, Disguise again is something that can do a lot of work, and I think honestly, Ghost and Fairy is a really good offensive combo. So another pretty awesome pick, and Disguise is going to let me do some things that are going to be fun. So I'm excited for Mimikyu this season, and we'll see how it works. Moving on to round 3 to start our first pick. There, we got to take Darmanitan in Tier 3 of the Detroit Red Wingles. Again, this is kind of a our third round pick here, and our third seeder, because I did want Blaziken and Incineroar, so 2 of my fire types were gone already. Darmanitan kind of fit the bill at this point in time, and I was like, oh crap, before somebody else takes my fire type, let me grab one real quick. So I grabbed Darmanitan. I've never used this Pokemon before. I've used the Galarian version, and I really like it. However, the Ice type regular form is banned because yikes. But this thing can be very powerful. Sheer Force is a great ability to have. It got a lot of coverage moves. Honestly, I can't say enough about Darmanitan. I'm excited to use it. It's got a lot of utility, and yeah, it's gonna punch your face.
Your face, indeed, with that 140 base attack. That is filthy. That will wreak havoc. Obviously, I would say this is a very cheap pick as well, because I think Darmanitan could be a bit higher in the tiers. Tier 3, I think you're getting very reasonable with what you get in for what you put in. I think it's a very good pick. You needed it. It is not a filler pick. It is you picked your needs before your fillers, because obviously it looks like you're going for a Fire Water Grass tier core with Rillaboom already, so it pairs well with Rillaboom. The only weakness of Darmanitan is that special attack, but let's be honest, Darmanitan is not a special attacker. It is a physical. So I don't think that'll play that big of a deal. The next overall pick is the Cyndaquils with Roserade. Must say,
Nothing? You must say
I
nothing?
actually don't know much. I'm talking. Can I not be heard again?
No. You cannot be heard again.
Oh no.
You're okay right now.
Oh no. Everyone just quickly move on. I'm just going to fix it. Something.
Well, this actually is not on the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils right now. It was traded at preseason, but Roserade was a cool pick anyway. I think there's another grass type coming later on that, kind of does what Roserade would have done too. But this pick actually is Scrafty now on the team. So instead of a tier 3 requirement, it's a tier 5 requirement. Instead of a grass poison type, it is a dark and fighting type. Scrafty's got a lot of things, pretty offensive, nice defensive stats too. Can set up Dragon Dance in people's face, and Dark and Fighting is both good offensive typings. Not a bad defensive typing either, so it can take a few hits. Roserade would have been a cool option on this team. Obviously, you see a Firewater Grass core right there that was being built, and Unfortunately, the images on the screen are not going to be representative of the traits. We're going to talk about those as we come to them. So this is a nice point to talk about this just now because it happened. So you're going to see it throughout the season. I'm very surprised with how many trades were made with free agency just before the season started, which is crazy. Like, I think most teams use 2 or 3 of their picks, and it just a lot. So Rosary would have been a nice option, but Scrafty, I think, fits the team right now. Nice offense and just slower Pokemon, maybe to counter that Trick Room that we talked about. We'll see how it works.
Yep, indeed.
Is he back now?
I think I'm back. Don't know.
Anything to say about Scrafty?
Scrafty, I think, is a very good pick. I was quite surprised when I saw Rose Raid get dropped because, as you said, there was a solid Fire Water Grass core. I was a bit surprised, but then Scrafty is a very, very good Pokemon indeed. Shall we move on to the next?
Yep, up to you. Always.
Yeah. So the next pick is my team, but I'll be done fans, and it is Copperajah. That's how you pronounce it. The big steel elephant. You might note, if you don't know Copperajah, it is slow, with a 30 base speed, so you can begin to see what I'm going with Hatterini and Copperajah, what I might be looking at going. It's a part of a Fairy Dragon Steel Core. I've got that all set up already. I like this pick. However, I will admit, what did I reach of it? Could this have been like 5 rounds like down the line? Yes, it could. I don't think. I probably think if I didn't draft it, nobody was going to draft it. So I could have got perhaps something that I wanted, needed a bit more, and save this down the line and prevent myself from getting sniped down the line. But I didn't. I got sniped down the line.
He's throwing again. I know. There's I don't know really what to say about Copperajah. Heavy Slam gonna hurt. Heavy Slam gonna hurt. Slower Pokemon can be a little bit more defensive. It does take some hits, so that could be something useful. Again, as I mentioned, I don't, as Stewie said, I don't think anybody was going to draft this really. It could have been a draft, but it's a very unlikely pick for a lot of teams, especially since a lot of teams were kind of already solidified what they were going to do with their Fairy Dragon Steel Core at this point in time. So there was a little bit of jump the gun, it might have been, but still an interesting pick. Definitely saw it coming since Stewie likes these elephants, and I don't think it'll be bad, but it's got some nice coverage, so it could surprise some people. Up next is the Lunar Mountain Lycanrocs, choosing their mascot Lycanroc in Tier 2. I don't know why this is Tier 2. I really don't. I just meme about not liking this Pokemon. Lycanroc can do some stuff. It's a very fast offensive Pokemon that a good solid rock type, honestly. And I think that'll come in handy with you see a lot of fire types going early on. That could be something to stop him. Does have some coverage moves. I think it gets the Elemental Fangs. I'm not sure if this one gets a Cell Rock or not, which that could be interesting if it did, but I don't think it does. But it's still a really cool Pokemon to draft. Could it have gone later? I think it could have, but I mean, hey, if you really like it and really want the Pokemon, fit the offensive style, go for it. Have fun. He's not.
Yeah, as you briefly alluded on about Lycanroc, could it have gone later?
Could it have gone later? Maybe.
But,
the next episode.
You're looking at it could have.
We apologize for the technical
really
difficulties. Bad. It's really bad? Tibi said it's really bad. You heard your first hot take. That's all that came through, bud. Oh, boy. This is going to be a long one if this is going to happen all the time. No, you cannot be heard. Well, I don't know what you're doing, man. Do you have a... Maybe try like a... a mobile thing? Mobile setup? I don't know if that's going to work better. for just talking or something. Yeah.
Right, I think I'm back. I'm back.
He's back.
I don't know what's happening right now. My internet is having a moment. Talking about Lycanroc certainly could have gone like 10 rounds. I don't think he would have got drafted. I think there are better rock types out there. Can't say I'm surprised that it's got drafted with it being Wolfo's mascot. Can't say I'm surprised. It could have gone later. Very good attack, very good speed. Let's move on before my internet cuts out again. With the next pick was Stack Attacker. It was Stack Attacker, the tier 3 Beast, Rock and Steel type. As you can expect, it's got a monstrous defense, 211 base defense and 131 base attack. That is monstrous. However, it is so slow, even slower than my team, and with 13 base speed, that's going to cause some problems, but it can make up for that because it can take the hits. Chaos.
I'm not sure about this pick, honestly. Stack Attack, yeah, it's a really good Pokemon if you get it set up. I mean, Beast Boost is an awesome ability that can just boost its defenses or whatever stats the highest on it, because that's what it does. But again, very nice anti-Trick Room Pokemon. Seen it run in Trick Room a lot. It's got access to, steel type moves that can do a lot of damage. I think it gets Heavy Slam, if I remember correctly. But it does have a couple quad of weaknesses that can be a problem for it, especially as a slower Pokemon. Despite the fact you have great defense stats, it might not live those. So that is something to be considering, and that's probably why it's a lower tiered Pokemon. It is an Ultra Beast, so that is going to be a little bit harder to come by. That's all I'm really going to touch on with that. But I think it's an interesting pick. Kind of starts an interesting core here with more of a defensive. You see, kind of 2 offensive Pokemon, 2 defensive Pokemon. So kind of see a little bit of a theme here as you're going through it. Up next, the Arbdon fans choose Blastoise, which actually is Inteleon, because there was a trade here. Somebody wanted the Blastoise boy who could do Shell Smash and stuff, but now he has Inteleon, so he's going to be trying to set up Focus Energy and Sniper Crits. So I hope you guys are ready to see that. Inteleon, honestly, just a really cool Pokemon. Snipe Shot, a broken move, honestly. Just needs to be banned, but it's not. Also, you misspelled Inteleon in the trades, and it's bugging me now because I'm reading it. And it's got some good coverages, too. Ice moves, Grass move. I think it has Grass Knot, honestly, so it wants to counter other water types. Pretty offensive and nice special attack, so nice add to the team, I guess, starting a Fire Water Grass Core.
Yeah, this is Basard Firewater Grass Core. Thanks for just leaking my entire strategy with Focus Energy, Snipe Shot.
Dude, everybody, it's Inteleon. What other strategy is there?
Yeah, well, I originally picked Blastoise, changed my mind. I thought I'd go with Inteleon. I've used Blastoise in the past, and I kind of wanted to use something new. Also, I just prefer Inteleon's stats around all. I did realise Dave was teasing me, Chewy, pick a tier 4 next. What does Chewy do? Pick a tier 4. That's not great for me, but I like Inteleon's stats. As it's being started, got very good stats, good special attack and speed. Gonna do quite well, and the ability Sniper. It is very groovy, and the start of the Fire Water Grass Core. Next pick is the Cyndaquils, and they took Togekiss, the tier 3 Fairy Flying type. It's been around for ages in competitive. It's a very good Pokemon. Got very decent all-round stats, with the weakest being physical attack. It's not really going to cause problem. It's got very good moveset all around. It can defog, heal bell, wish. It's got extreme speed, so many moves, and it can set up like light screen. It's all of these different moves that you can use in a strategy, and I would be really interested to see how the Cyndaquils use Togekiss in play.
This is a really annoying Pokemon. As somebody who's used with Togekiss before, with Serene Grace, you can get Crit Kiss, you can get a defensive Pokemon, you get a healer, you get a cleric, you can get pretty much anything you want out of Togekiss, and then a really good typing and fairy and flying. So, like, it can do a lot this season, and it's gonna fit pretty much every team build, every team composition that's out there. So you're gonna see this thing a lot, I have a feeling, and it's gonna cause problems because it does, and that's how Togekiss works. So welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Starting off on round 5, we got the Detroit Red Wing. Well, I guess the end of round 4. I can't count. It's got Metagross, so adding again to that Fairy Dragon Steel Core, grabbing a Steel type, another pseudo legendary here. coming in, and something I've never used before in Draft League, mostly because I had other Steel Psychic types available. I've used Jirachi in the past, and thought it did better than Metagross. But here we go, trying out Metagross. We won't talk about me failing a shiny of this thing, but we will talk about how awesome Metagross can be with a lot of priority that it can use with Bullet Punch, which is Stab. It's got Steel typing, it's got Psychic typing, it's got coverage in Fighting and Dark and Ground, and it's got a lot of different tricks up its sleeve. Metagross is a very versatile Pokemon. Can be run a lot of different ways, and it's gonna cause some problems. Don't try lowering its stats, friends.
This is going to cause problems indeed. It's got amazing stats. Obviously, being a pseudo-legendary, pairs very well Mimikyu in the core. This will be dangerous, and I don't like the fact that it's you using it because I know you'll get created. That's terrifying, if I'm being honest.
Choice being Bullet Punch, here we go.
I'm terrified of that because you'll come up with something creative. Concerns me even more is what you pick next, Goodra. I must say, did you trade Goodra?
Nope.
I can't find it on the sheets. Oh, there it is. Poor Dragon. I was trying to get the thing up so I could have a look at it because I don't remember much about Goodra. It's very good. It's obviously another pseudo-legendary. Pairs very well with Metagross and Mimikyu. Fills one of your tier needs, so you pick your needs. Well done, good sir. You know that makes me happy. I'm very interested how Goodra will do. Obviously, can set up Rain Dance. It pairs well with Water type as well, which I think you get later on in the draft. It's obviously got Hydration, Sap Supreme Gooey as its abilities. I like this mon. Hasn't really got a particularly bad stat. They're all pretty good, actually. But that special defense, 150 base, is very good. This mon. And I like this pick, but as I said, it does terrify me who's drafted it.
Shit. I don't know why I decided Goodra this season. I saw it last season in Team Prep. And I think the Herkimer Dreadnoughts, and so I was like, oh crap, this thing can actually can run a lot of people's fades. And as a lower tier mon, it was a nice grab. I really didn't have another tier 4 in mind at this point in time in the draft, so I wanted to complete my Fairy Dragon Steel Core. And I think it's a bargain buy for a Dragon type. A lot of Dragons, you have to choose tier 2 or tier 1 to get something that's going to be usable on your team. Goodra fits in a team, works well, can be defensive, as Tui was saying. It's got stats on every... Not a bad stat, really, so it can be offensive, it can be defensive. It can be a nice mon in the back. 3 really good abilities, can be run in a lot of different situations, so expect all of them and none of them at the same time. It'll be a great time. Moving on to the next pick, we got the Cuernavaca Cynicals choosing our Sunsetter in Torkoal tier 5. Here's the Sun team, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Boom. I don't know why it took me so long to realize this. I was like talking the other night with somebody. I was like, yo, it's Sun team. I see this now. We got Torkoal here, good Sunsetter, obviously more used in doubles, but Torkoal does have another ability in White Smoke, which prevents stat lowers, so it can just sit there and be a nice defensive Pokemon. I mean, it has access to Toxic and stuff like that, so it can stall. It's got a lot of stuff, man. It also has Rapid Spin, so a nice little coverage there for those kind of entry hazards that we might see in singles. Could be something that could let a lot of its teammates go off. Could just be a nice little Pokemon that's a defensive pivot. Who knows? This season, Torkoal might shine. Here we go.
Will Torkoal shine? I think so. And you said that you only just realised it was Sun Team. As you said, it clicked with me as well. I had not noticed that. Dear God. That's a very good pick. As you said, it gets the nice rare moves. We're getting Rapid Spin. It can also set up with Stealth Rock. And it's a core fire type, so that's quite nice. It's not going to get like quad affected by water type moves. So apart from speed, Torkoal stats are pretty solid across the board as well, which is always a positive. Got the ability Drought, which is always useful, particularly in a fire team, in a Sun team. I think that's a very good pick. Suits his team, and you can now say it is definitely a Sun team. I'm very disappointed myself for not realising. Oh well, we move on. On to the next pick, which is me and the Derby Don fans selecting Venusaur, the grass and poison starter of Kanto. I picked Venusaur, as I have mentioned repeatedly through this draft. Starters have good all-round stats, and they always do. Venusaur is no exception. Like about Venusaur is toxic. You get a good array of moveset. Can get knockoff It's got. I really like moveset, and it can set up light screen if need be. It's also got very, very good defenses and special defense. I like this mon. I think you can cause damage if you use it right, and it can cause a lot of damage if you use it right. Unfortunately, it's me using it, so it won't be used.
I mean, he said it, guys. I'm not gonna. Yeah, Charizard next. Yo, Kanto starters team. I don't know. Maybe we might see that happen. They might all three line up next to each other. I don't know. We don't know. The best one's gonna be the highest, though. I'm just gonna say that. Venusaur, to be mentioned, good Pokemon overall. We've seen this thing in past seasons. Just the damage it can do, just the problems it can bring for people. But Grass and Poison type, not a bad typing, not a great typing either. But if Rillaboom was on the list, this isn't a bad thing to cover that hole that was filled now with Venusaur, because it can do a lot of things. Leech Seed is annoying. Toxic can be annoying. It can be Sleep Powder. It can do a lot of annoying things. It can be offensive. It has growth. It could be a sun, opposing in sun, because it has access to chlorophyll. So it's got some options, and it could be run interestingly. So we'll have to see how Venusaur comes this season. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go. I hope for your sake well, but we'll see.
It's me.
Up next is Lunar Mountain Lycanrocs with Armaldo, which didn't load in, which is great. There you go. There's Armaldo. He was a little bit shy today. We got Armaldo coming in, and honestly, I'm not quite sure about this pick at this point in time. We just saw a rock type go a couple picks ago for this team, so adding another one, I mean, given it is a bug type, given it does have good attack stats and has some good coverage moves, not really something that I expected to see this season. It's good typing, honestly. Rock and Bug, really solid, covers each other's weaknesses pretty nicely, and can do a lot of tech stuff, so we'll see how Armaldo runs. Could have gone later, I think so, but we'll see what happens.
As you were saying, could it have gone later? I was shocked for this when in 5th round, thought it was going to go undrafted. I was very surprised. But as you were saying, Armaldo actually has some very nice stats. Rock and Bug obviously is quite good typing. Gets an interesting round move. I'll be very interested to see how it's used. But with a Lycanroc already being a rock type, does Wolfos need another rock type? Probably not. No, I don't think so. But it's an interesting pick. I'll be very interested to see how it is used. And the next pick was also Wolfos. It was a trade, wasn't it?
It is.
Yeah, the next pick was Appleton, which was traded for Gigalith.
And Jigglypuff.
Yeah, which is another rock type. Get ready, guys. It's coming. Pick your needs before you pick your fillers. That's 3 rock types. You don't need 3 rock types. However, I do really like Gigalith. I can never pronounce these fancy ones. It's got very good attack and defense. Another quite slow mon for this team. Armaldo's not particularly quick, and obviously Stack Attacker is very slow. I mentioned 3 rock types. That's actually the 4th, isn't it? Because that's a rock type.
Yep.
That's a lot of rock. That is a lot of rock types. I'm not sure you need all those. I think I was Appleton traded. I thought this was a really good pick initially. Very interesting to see how this goes now. Yeah, I was surprised.
Emphasis on rock and Lunar Mountain Lycanroc, because that's obviously the strat of the season. Gigalith coming in being a sand setter. Here's another weather team. We got sand coming. A lot of things to work with it. You see Lycanroc, Stack Attack, Armaldo, Gigalith now. It has Sturdy as well, so it can be something that can take a hit and then, proceed to take something else out, get Stealth Rocks up for all its life except for 1 HP. But it's got some tech it can do. I mean, obviously it's tier 5. It's not supposed to do a lot of things well and not be as well as some of the other Pokemon on the list. But it does set up Sand, which is going to be, I think, a primary use of this Pokemon this season. Access to Body Press with that monstrous defensive stat. It can do some work there if it's choosing to be running Sand instead of Sturdy. We can see some fun things with Jigalith, or Gigalith, as most people pronounce it, this season. You just say Wolfos team really rocks. Moving on, we got the Darby Dawn fan and Charizard, my son. Hey guys, you want a one Kanto starter? It's not good enough. You want two? Yeah, it's still kind of meh. You want three? Heck yeah, we get the best one. Charizard tier 5. Here we go. Drought and Blaze has its abilities. Not Drought. That's Mega Charizard. Why? Thank you for Megas. Please come back. But he's got solar power. Can be running Sun, so you see Charizard and Venusaur kind of work together there a little bit if you want to set up Sun. As two pretty offensive Pokemon. Charizard, pretty fast. Really good special attack. Can do a lot of things because it gets access to pretty much every typing. So I don't know how I feel about this because I have to fight my son. That's all I got.
That's bad news. Everyone criticised me. I genuinely didn't mean to draft all 3 Kanto stars. It just kind of happened. Yeah. Certainly better fire types I could have gone for. But I like Charizard. It's got very quick. Also, kind of want to prevent Chaos from drafting it. But also, I didn't think you would, but I just kind of wanted to do it. I've got Fire, Water, Grass core of starters. Didn't mean to do that, but I did it. Fits my tier 5 need, which obviously before this pick I didn't have. So I needed to pick a tier 5 really this pick, so I did. I think Charizard, I think it's one of my better picks in my life. In my 3 seasons of draft, which is not a card to do. No. Really, but I'm happy with this pick. Fits well, Venusaur, as you said. I'm really happy with this pick. The next pick was the Cyndaquils. I'm not even going to bother botching it. With Galarian Darmanitan Zen mode, which is obviously an Ice type. This attack is monstrous. 140 base off the top of my head. I don't have the stats in front of me. However, like regular Darmanitan, that special attack is not very good. But once again, this is a physical attack. You won't use it in special mode. But also, apart from the attack and HP, and there's none of the stats stand out. Defense is poor at 55. It's not great. And special defense is also not ideal with 55. But speed and bounce at 95. I'll be very interested in how this is used, actually. Yeah. Guess.
This is another fire type, so it pairs well with that Torkoal if you want to set it up. And the ice typing too, it's a really interesting offensive wombo combo and can do a lot of work. I kind of would expect to see some Scarfs and some bands going on this thing, just kind of mimic that Guerrilla Tactics ability that the regular form has, but that's part of the response band. But Darmanitan can do a lot of things and can be really annoying because it gets a lot of access to the things that regular Darmanitan gets access to: rock moves, ground type moves, fighting type moves, and also now ice type moves. So it's probably got something to hit you every side of the coin, and then some. You roll a d20, it's got all 20 sides at the same point in time. It's crazy. But it's a really awesome Pokemon. It looks cool. I'm really excited to see this thing in Draft League. I mean, I'm not excited to fight it, but I'm excited to see it because I like it a lot. And I think it'll be good this season. Heavy duty boots could be something that is useful instead of taking 50% to stealth rocks if that's a thing, or could be running one of the other items I mentioned. So Life Orb even, I don't know, could be offensive. It's gonna be offensive. I'm gonna talk about. Moving on, we got the East Coast Gastrodons drafting Gastrodon because I'm my old team name now because screw the Detroit Red Wings. I'm drafting my boy Gastrodon, another water type. I guess my first water type for the team. And a pretty good one at that, I would say. Another tier 3 mon. I like tier 3 apparently. I think that's my tier. Tier 3, not tier chaos 6. Let's do it. Water and ground typing makes it only weak to grass with a quad weakness, which is pretty awesome because it's got coverage for the rest of the team. Things like Rillaboom, Gudra, Darmanitan, Metagross even. So it's pretty solid pick on the team. Nice special attacker. Gives me a little bit more on the special side. And as a defensive Pokemon, it can do a lot. It has access to things like Haze, so it can get rid of a stat boost. If people want to set up against the team, that's a thing. Also can kind of mitigate some damage on water types with a Storm Drain. So it can be an interesting Pokemon, and Gastrodon going to do some work. Yeah.
Gastrodon probably will do some work. I could see this pick coming from a mile away at some point, because obviously you do like your Gashadon. I really like this pick, particularly with Gudra. Gudra can set up like Rain Dance, they pair quite nicely. Gashadon is a mon, but I know you can use quite well. I've seen you use Gashadon well in the past. It's got very good, nice stats, you must say. I'm a little bit scared of you having that thing on your team, if I'm being honest. Don't want to see it come up, so week 1, don't bring it, please. Thank you very much.
I'm 100% bringing it. It's on my team.
It's a very solid pick.
Alright, Brad.
It's a tier 3, and I would say this is a really good pick for tier 3 because it could have gone to tier 2 quite easily. I like the abilities. It's a good pick overall. Well done, good sir. The next pick was once again Chaos 6 and the Detroit Red Wingles picking Grimsol at tier 1. No, tier 2, sorry. I was having a shocker there. Fucking fairy type. This brings some needed balance to your team, rounds out your type coverage quite nicely. You didn't also another fairy type which you didn't have, which you had with but you didn't have another dark type, and that brings some good type coverage. Very good attack stat with 120 base, good HP, and I think it gets some like taunt, isn't it? It's a taunt user.
It's a prankster.
Top of my head, but I know it gets light screen and reflect, so that can set up. It can do so much. You can use it in different ways. I'll be very interested how you use it. But the only thing that lets it down really is speed and base defense. But I think it more than makes up for it with what it brings to the table.
The fun part about Grimsnarl is it's pretty good utility wise. As I said, it does have Prankster, which allows those status moves to move first, essentially giving them priority. So you know you see things like Thunderwave, screens, taunts, those kind of things just popping out and doing some work, even though Grimstar is a slow Pokemon. So, but don't sleep on its attack stat. 135, I think, is what its base attack stat. Can do a lot of damage, especially with a Fairy and Dark type stab. It'll hit like a truck. So Grimstar can do a lot of different things. One of my favorite things about Draft League is you get Pokemon that can do many things and make your opponent guess as to what it is. So look forward to Grimstar doing some work this season. Something I had originally on VGC when I was trying to build a team, and so I'm excited to finally get to use it in Draft League and singles. We'll have a great time. Also, get used to Tui saying, I don't like how Chaos drafted that because now I'm scared. Take a shot every time he does it, you be drunk in 2 seconds. Next up, the Cuernavaca Center Post choosing Haxorus, the busted boy, a nice, powerful dragon type Pokemon. Capable of setting up those expertly powerful dragon dances with a whopping 140 some attack. I don't know. It's high. It's really high. It's cracked, man. The dragon dance can boost that speed stat too and make this thing absolutely menacing. Gets access to poison jab coverage for fairy types that might try to take it out. I think it gets access to a lot of different things too because of just being an awesome Pokemon. A pretty good dragon type there. I think this is a tier 2 mon. I'm not quite sure about that.
Yes,
so
tier 2.
But I think it's a bargain for tier 2. Honestly, could probably be tier 1. Might be a stretch though. But a pretty fast, pretty offensive Pokemon. A nice addition to this team. And honestly, those Unovan Dragons, they pack a punch. So we'll see how Soy likes to use it this season.
All this Haxorus needs to do is Dragon Dance, and it is set. Busted with that Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance once or twice with that attack, you could sweep. It can cause serious damage. Obviously, being a dragon type, we've already seen a lot of fairies. That is a bit of a cause for concern, but with again poison jab, it kinda saves that bit. This is a very good pick. Tier 2, as you said, it could be easily tier 1. I like this pick. Admittedly, I was a bit surprised it didn't go sooner in the draft. I thought with Haxorus being a little bit busted at times, it could go earlier. I think I tried to trade for Haxorus off the top of my head, I can't remember. With Mold Breaker as well, that's a very good ability. Mm-hmm. It can cause havoc. And hopefully we won't see havoc from Monaco's perspective. For Soys, hopefully it does.
Also takes a Fairy Dragon Steel Core, so that's nice too. I didn't mention
it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Good spot. I didn't clock that.
I didn't mention it. I forgot to. It was on my list of things to mention, but I didn't. All right, go ahead.
I didn't even notice it. The next pick is the Derby Dom fans, everyone's favourite Toby team. Picking the tier 3 Pokemon Toxtricity. One reason to pick this was I needed a tier 3 desperately. I didn't have any, and I wanted to make sure I picked out all of my needs so I can not worry about the tiers because I'm terrible at maths. Poison Electric, kind of like this, cover off fairy types and poison types. Its stats are average. They're not, except for special attack, they're nothing to write home about. I probably could have waited a little bit before I got it, admittedly. Like Toxtricity brings electric type, which I didn't have before. Team, I think it could do well. It depends how I use it. It does get a Volt Switch. That's could work for me. I'll be very interested how I do with this.
Nice to be mentioned. Nice special attack stat. Also, electric and poison do really good special attacking types. Volt Switch is another possibility, but Punk Rock is a really nice ability as well. Can do things like overdrive and melt opponents. Plus that with a throat spray, you can see some interesting things come from Toxicity. It's worked in the past. It doubles. Typically it's seen, but it can make a name for itself in singles. Might be a little bit slower than some other things, but honestly, besides the quad weakness ground, there's not a lot that's going to do a lot to it. So, I guess psychic types, but it's got a pretty good defensive typing too. So don't sleep on Toxicity. Nice tier 3 mon. Good grab by the Dom fans, and we'll move on. The Vaporeon on Lunar Mountain Lycanrocs too. Just happy that I finally said to get good at something. Crazy. Tier 4 Vaporeon. Evolutions are kind of a weird buy, but also they have some nice use. Vaporeon being one of the higher rated ones, mostly because of that awesome special attack, that special defense, that HP, can do the work. Access to things like Wish and Toxic, as well as Scald. Coverage an Ice Beam and a nice utility there. So can be a menace, can be a problem. Got Water Absorb as well, so water types beware. And we'll see how this works this season.
As you say, the evolutions are a bit of a mixed bag, but as you say, Vaporeon is probably one of the better ones. I do like Vaporeon, as you said, it's got very nice stats across the board. It can be used as a cleric almost with Heal Bell and Wish. I imagine it gets Aqua Jet or Quick Attack, something like that, so it's got
Quick Attack
like that. And I think it gets Reflect or Light Screen, gets one of Reflect or Light Screen. I can't remember for the life of me which one it is. I like this Monic. It's a good tier 4, and I think that is a very good pick. The Lycanrocs, another Water, Fire, Water, Grass Core. That's a very good pick, and also fills out those draft tier necessities for the rest of the picks. She can pick whatever she chooses as long as she's in the requirements and points. I like this pick personally. The next pick is Dragalge, which, did that get traded?
Yes.
I can't remember.
For
Primarina. Tier 2 for Water Fairy starter of Alola. Definitely remembered that. Very good special attack. In the 120 special attacks, I think. Yeah. I think Primarina Liquid Voice, she can, his hidden ability, that can cause havoc. But out of all the starters, I don't think Primarina's that good. 2 Alolan starters now for with Incineroar and Primarina. I think this is a good pick, but I don't think Primarina is the best water type starter. Considering that Inteleon was on the board, I would have probably gone for that. However, Inteleon's pure water. Primarina does have that fairy second typing, which is very useful, I think, particularly in Draft League.
That fairy type really fits this team nicely. Something that we didn't see before. Also, with pairing with that with Stack Attack, you got a Fairy Dragon. Steel Core start pretty taken off there. Just a nice Dragon type to round it out would be nice. It's also pronounced Dragalge, so if you guys were listening, this is a pretty cool pick with Primarina. I used it last season to great avail alongside G-Max Colossal, which it shined in. But Primarina has its own nice power in the fact that it has liquid voices, to be said. Can make things like Hyper Voice absolutely cracked and broken. It has a nice bit of utility, things like Life do. Well, I guess that's not really that useful in singles, not 1-4, it's not that much. But it's starter Pokemon, gets access to different kinds of things. Can't put people to sleep. Got nice fairy typing, got nice water typing, good special attacker. There's not much else you could want, except maybe trade something else away. I don't know. Just so you don't have two good special attack. I don't know. But it's a cool Pokemon. It can work. Jinget used a lot last season because she traded it to me and made a mistake in doing that. We'll see how it works this season. Unless I get it again, which I might be coming for that. Next up is Darby Dawn fans and Heracross, which is not actually Heracross because it was traded for Pangoro, which is a dark fighting type. Access things like Bullet Punch, Iron Fist, which is nice, powerful move. Access to elemental punches, I believe. Things like Knockoff, Brick Break, Close Combat, Drain Punch. It's got a lot of utility there that can be useful. Quad weakness to Fairy, which could be something that is problematic. But Pangoro, honestly, a pretty awesome Pokemon. Does a lot of work, hits hard, and it's going to be useful for this team, I think. Also a typing that wasn't on the team before, so it's good.
I thought you were going to rip me a new one for this pick.
It's terrible. Why'd you do it?
Why did I do it?
I don't know, go ahead.
Panic. Pangoro, as you said, it's got very good attack in 120. Its base attack, I can't remember the exact figure. Special attack isn't very good, but it's not a special attacker. Nor is its defense. But once again, none of my mons particularly fast. Trick Room 101. It's a good type. I didn't have before. It's a bit of regret that I traded away Heracross without actually using it in a battle. Can't deny that. It does finish off my tier requirements, so I can go draft whatever I want as long as I'm in points. I don't know how I feel about this pick. Still haven't decided. It was, yeah. But the next pick was the Cyndaquils with Espeon A4 Psychic Evolution. I was a little bit surprised to see that, obviously, Evolution, as we said earlier, a bit of a mixed bag. But Espeon, 3 of Espeon's stats are pretty poor in HP, attack, and defense. The 3, particularly special attack, is very, very good in 132, something like that. And speed, very good, and special defense is good. And obviously does get access to Magic Bounce, which obviously we spoke about earlier with Hatterini, can never pronounce that, which can bounce off the hazards. It's a very good mon. It can also get access to Heal Bell, Wish, Light Screen, Reflect, all those type of moves. I think this is a good pick. Fits the needs of a team quite well. Finishes off the tiers. I like this pick.
Really good psychic type for this team. Magic Balance actually very crucial for, especially for a Sun team. You're gonna have a lot of fire types. You're gonna have a lot of those kind of monsters that are weak to rocks on the switch in. So Magic Bounce making your opponent think that those are going to be things that they don't want to see could be problematic for your opponent then if they need that to beat you. So Espeon pretty good in that regard. Also hits like a truck. It got some nice utility with some fairy moves on there, so it can work as a pseudo fairy type. It's a pretty solid Pokemon. Also has a really awesome shiny. Don't at me. Good Pokemon overall. Nice tier 4 requirement, fits the needs nice, and you know, it had to be tier 4 had to be green because Espeon's green. That's how it works. Next up, Detroit Red Wingles take in Arachwanid down there in tier 4 land, and this is an interesting grab for me because it's something I wasn't really prepared to draft for. I wanted something different, and I wanted a bug type, and that's what Arachwanid did. I saw Espeon go, and I'm like, okay, I might want to get a bug type to deal with these psychics running around, and there's Arachwanid for you. Very, very slow. It looks like it'd be a lot faster. You have those big bubble legs, but it's pretty slow. But hits like a freaking Mack truck, and then some. Just a solid overall Pokemon. Nice stabs and bug in water. Interesting type combination. It could do some work this season. Don't sleep on Arachwanid.
They take a shot every time, Kill says don't sleep on certain one. For a tier 4 mon, you've done. I think we should all do that. Yeah, we should. I think for a tier 4 mon, I think this is quite good. When you did it, I got the impression it was a panic pick. As you said, with Espeon going off board, and there's a number of psychic types going off board. I think you do need to get a bug type. As you said, it's got very good stats in certain areas, like special defense is good. I'll be very interested how you use it, as its abilities are Water Ball and Water Absorb off the top of my head. I can't remember exactly.
I think so, yeah.
It'll be interesting, but it feels you need a bug type, because we have seen a number of psychic types on the board. I think it's a good pick. The next pick was a pick that caught me right off guard. Jinx. The Ice and Psychic type, so you've got a Psychic type of your own, following suit with everyone else. Another an Ice type, which is always going to cause damage to Dragon types. I was surprised to see Jinx go. I thought there was perhaps better options. I'm very interested to hear what you say. It's a tier 5, you know, you need to fill that tier 5 need. There was probably a limit of what you could go for. I was surprised to see this go.
There's a few tier 5s that was on my mind, but I talked about Jinx for a while. It was one of my MVPs in season 2 of this league, so wanted to bring and pay homage to that team. That fun. I don't know how I ran a rain team with Jinx on it, but I did. So here we go, Jinx Part 2, coming in with some pretty cool abilities. I think, honestly, one of the most underrated things about Jinx is it has the ability Forewarn. And you might be like, Chaos Forewarn is a terrible ability. But in a 3v3 format style, where we're doing best of 3, you have to fight your opponent at least twice. Forewarn can be useful to get some ideas about what your opponent is bringing. Also, other good abilities too, in Dry Skin and Oblivious. So, Jinx can be a lot of fun. Plus, it's a really offensive Pokemon, really nice special attack and speed. So, it fits in pretty nicely. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And you shouldn't sleep on Jinx. So you can take another shot. Have fun. Senticles are up next with the Pinchurchin, which actually is a trade to Klefki, which is a really annoying Pokemon because it's a prankster Pokemon. It's a fairy and steel typing, which is one of the best typings out there. And it has a lot of really annoying moves. Prankster obviously giving it access to do like things like Thunder Wave, screens, toxic, setup, booze, you name it, taunt even. Like, it can be really annoying. So another option instead of like Espeon is get rid of those hazards with taunt. So an interesting pick, great to grab. Gets rid of electric type, which, I mean, you have Rotom, so you don't really need the Pinchurchin. It was kind of a good trade there, and you know, taking those requirements, kind of finagling them a little bit with what you already had. You have a nice core. Might as well use the free slots to fill your needs, as you would say, and get a nice Pokemon to kind of be a nice defensive and utility mon on your back.
And Klefki is one of the most annoying mons. You could Steel Fairy Prankster, that's going to cause problems. Gets get Reflect and Lightweight Screen? I think it does,
Yeah.
Can't remember. But it definitely gets Prankster, and I know for a fact it also gets Defog, which is quite good for hazard removal, and Spikes. So if it wants to set up hazards, it's also very good, but that typing will cause problems. Because it's, as we've mentioned repeatedly, Dragon Steel Fairy, it's a huge core. That's 2 in 1. Very good pick. It's going to cause problems, and I'm not looking forward to facing that if it comes against me. Speaking of me, my pick is next, and I picked Corviknight, the Tier 1 Flying and Steel Beast. The Corviknight has some very good stats across the board. HP, attack, and defense particularly stand out, as well as special defense. Very nice stats. As a part of the Steel, it's quite clear that I like Steel and Fairy and Dragon as a core. Also gets access to Defog, so it can clear up hazards, which is a little bit of a problem in my team. I can't remove them that easily. I haven't got like a rapid spinner. I'm quite happy with this pick. I think it suits my team quite well. Except Light Screen and Reflect as well. It does get torn U-turn out if wanted. Like this pick, and I'm also a bit surprised it didn't go sooner.
Yeah, Corviknight is a really solid mon. I'm pretty sure too he's just trying to take my favorite Pokemon used against me at this point in time. Because grabs my second favorite Pokemon, Corviknight here. A nice Steel type. I'm kind of questioning that Copperajah a little bit more now with Corviknight on the squad, especially as a Steel type as good as Corviknight. Iron Head can be massive. It's a little bit slower, so it's not going to have the best chance to flinching or something like that, but it has a really nice defensive stat. Obviously can set that up a little bit more. Can use things like Body Press, has access to that. Covers with dark type moves, nice flying type moves as well. Access to Roost so it can stay on the field longer. Can be very annoying, especially with its ability to prevent stat drops and to reflect them back. So this could be a nice little breaker in some opponents' teams that can cause problems. So we'll see how Corviknight's used, and a little upset that it was drafted again. So we'll move on from that and go to the Lunar Mountain Lycanroc, showing off again their Sand team with Excadrill this time. Sandrise Excadrill is a big strat out there. Makes this thing incredibly fast, which is nice because it doesn't have the highest speed stat, but it's not necessarily super slow either. So it can be useful in that regard as a nice fast Pokemon. Can cleave through teams. Obviously, access to Self Rocks is another thing. Steel and Ground, great typing. Has two really powerful stabs, especially off that attack stat. It's going to be something that's going to scare people. And an interesting grab, to say the least. Something I might have been looking at myself. And I'm just never going to look at Excadrill again because it always gets taken from me. So.
Excadrill is a good mon. However, it's another weakness to water, which is going to be a problem down the line. Because if you bring a good water type, Wolfos is going to be in a spot to bother because can rock Incineroar, Stack Attacker, Excadrill, and some more down the line. That'll be a problem. So she's going to have to be very careful about it. But Excadrill can Rapid Spin, set up Stealth Rocks, multiple things like that, which would be very, very useful. And also, it's a Steel type. I don't think she had the Steel type as part of Fairy Dragon Steel. I don't think so. Can't remember.
Stack Attack is the Steel type as well. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. It is, yeah. But she has got to be careful about type weakness to water. Could cause a problem down the line. Her next pick was Garchomp, the big, scary Tier 1 Dragon Ground type. Obviously, with it being a pseudo-legend, it's not bad, is it? It's quite good. Very good stats across the board, as you would expect, but isn't really a bad stat, with its lowest being 80, I think. Can't remember, I think special attack. And that's not bad. There's a reason it's Tier 1, it's scary. Good dragon. Like this pick, well done, Wolfos. Give yourself a pat on the back.
So there's a reason I call this thing Death Wish in every playthrough I get of this thing, because it is just menacing. Garchomp has access to a lot of just a lot of different things it can do. Defensive, offensive, rough skin plus Rocky Helmet. They give extra damage. It can be defensive, it can be offensive. It got a lot. It also got Stealth Rocks. It just got everything, man. It's what you want. Although it does have a quad weakness to ice. It does fit the Sand team nice because of Sand Veil, making it miss sometimes because of evasion. So that can be interesting on this team, and definitely a heavy Sand team as we're seeing, especially with that trade for a Gigalith instead of the Appleton there. Next up is the Darby Dawn fans taking Dragzolt, which actually is not Dragzolt because it was traded. As I said, there's a lot of trades in this season of this single side of PDL season 6, which I was kind of surprised that I think 2 teams used all 3 of their picks. All 3 of their trades in preseason. So, but this is a trade. I'm having a hard time finding it. That's what I'm stalling for. Lapras. Dragosult is now for Lapras. So Lapras, Water Absorb, obviously really good to shut down those water types. Coverage in Psychic, Thunderbolt for electric type moves. Got access to Freeze Dry. Got access to Ice Beam, Blizzard. Healing moves. It can be scary. I mean, there's a reason it works so well in previous seasons, but Lapras also Tier 5 for a reason that it has a lot of things it can do, but it really struggles to do one thing super well at a time. Prove me wrong, Tui, that's a challenge.
Jack of all trades, master of none. Bit like me, really. Basically, the whole reason I went for this trade was I noticed I had no core ice type, and I kind of wanted an ice type because obviously a lot of dragons have gone off the board. Concerned me a bit, so I thought I would trade for one. And I like Lapras. It has access to other moves, but it has Heal Bell and Reflect. Whole purpose of this pick was to give me a bit of balance in my team because I had no core ice type. I can't think of the word stab damage ice type. I was a bit concerned about that, and I wanted to cover myself, particularly looking back at like Garchomp had gone for pick before. I don't think I needed Dragozult particularly that much. It was a big, expensive pick on tier points, and I don't think I needed it that much, so I went later and changed it. for a bit less of an expensive trade. The next pick was the Cyndaquils, doing another Sun team pick with Volcarona for tier 1. Bug and Fire. It's another bug type that will cause damage to Psychic types, Fire type, Flame Body, very good special attack, special defense and speed, and not bad HP. Attack and defense, not so good, but that's not really going to be a problem with Volcarona. It's going to cause problems. Gets Defog, which will be quite good for dealing with the hazards set up. Definitely gets Light Screen. I know that for a fact. Cause problems. It'll be very interesting how it does. But another problem I mentioned earlier was there's a lot of weakness to water in this team. However, that's covered off with Rotom. Rotom can deal with that quite nicely. And Haxorus won't take too much damage to water, so it's quite balanced out quite nicely, and I think this is a good balance pick.
The Sun Pokemon, the lure and the covering the sun when the desert was bad and stuff. On a Sun team, it just makes sense, you know. I really didn't want to see Volcarona. It's been a while since Volcarona's made its comeback in PDL, but it is a menace. Quiver Dance, honestly, if it gets set up, even one stage, it could be the end of a team. It's got credible stats and special attack, and you know, if you let this thing set up in your face, it's just gonna whop you in the face. You know, it's gonna whop you up and down the street, throw you in a trash can, and then let the garbage man take you out because you ain't gonna win. Got access to Giga Drain too as a nice heal move. Also coverage for water types, which is really nice. Very nice stabs in Bug and Fire. So coverage for those Psychic types that we were talking about earlier. Those Dark types we were talking about earlier. Grass types out there, the Bug types. It's got a lot of things it can do, and it's gonna be scary. Go Burr.
Very.
Next up, Detroit Red Wingles. We take in a Scrafty, which is my only preseason trade, which now is Lucario. We're gonna have that Lucario on the team. I got kind of swept back into nostalgia with my teams. I mean, I grabbed Jinx and I grabbed Gastrodon, and I'm like, you know what? Might as well go full send it. Let's grab Lucario too. Lucario, one of my best ones in season 3. I think had the highest kill death ratio in that entire league, going 7-0. Just popping off. Good mixed Pokemon. Can run physical, can run special, can be defensive. I like it because it's got that utility. Also very unpredictable Pokemon. Nice tier 3 grab. Can be run with a lot of different items. Got nice abilities too, depending on the situation. It's gonna do a lot. Also, good Fairy Dragon Steel Core in case you want to swap out for Metagross in Steel type.
Oh yeah, and thought that. I liked this pick. I also liked your pick of Scrafty, but I completely understand why you went for Lucario. I think both were pretty good options, and I really wish I'd picked up Scrafty in place of Pangoro. I hadn't thought of that because they're probably at the same time. But Lucario also gets Extreme Speed and Bullet Punch, which is quite nice, as well as Vacuum Wave, I think. Not 100% sure on that.
It does.
Which is obviously good, because you can go first. Can cause damage. I think it gets Sword Stance, if I'm not mistaken. Not 100% sure. Yep. Certain on that. This is a good
Sword Stance and Nasty Plot.
That's dangerous. But as you say, it can easily swap out with Metagross. I like this pick. It suits your team well. And, I think this was actually a pretty good trade for you, as well as I think it's quite a good value for your pointage. So I say, well done, good sir. You're on the board next because you had one of the loopy loop picks. I can't remember the word. I've run that train. Snake. I got there in the end. But this pick was Aerodactyl, the tier 4 rock and flying dragon, Aerodactyl. I like this pick. Very good speed. It's 130 base speed off the top of my head. Very good. But also its move coverage is something that I'm particularly a big fan. It's definitely a taunt user. Self rock. That could be key because in Draft League, we've seen in the past, setting up does really help your team. And if you don't, you tend to struggle. And with it having taunt, you can prevent the other team from setting. I like this team, as well as it can prevent from hazards being set up with defog. I think this will work very well with your team. Balance out your typings quite nicely.
Yeah, speaking of typings, I didn't have a rock or a flying type at this point in time in the draft, so really good coverage there with the typing. To be mentioned, it does have some abilities to to do a little bit of shenanigans with alternate types. You'll have some fun with some coverage moves. Does have access again to some of those nice utility moves in the back, especially as a fast Pokemon. How my team kind of lacks in speed there. This gives me a nice speed tier to kind of mess around with, and so Aerodactyl could do a lot of work this season just by being an offensive presence, and it gonna be nomming you down. Up next is the Cornavanta. Cyndaquil's choosing Tengrowth, who is yikes because he is very defensive. Assault Vest Tangrowth, known to be one of the best special walls in the world. Also has access to Leech Seed, has access to Toxic, can whittle you down, can just sit there. And it can just regenerate out if you lower it too far on health. So, a nice solid pick, fits well. Also access to Chlorophyll on Sun, so that can be fun. And that rhymed, I'm happy about it. That was good. That was good. I'm just gonna leave that there. I can't top that.
Chaos 6 for Lyrical Genius. Tangrowth, as you were mentioning with Chlorophyll, this terrifies because it fits the team very well. Yeah, this is not going to be a good pick. I think it's access to Solar Beam, which obviously in the Sun team quite useful. It's a wall tank. It will belittle you down. This is a scary pick. Tier 2, and you can see why. The only thing it's let down is a bit slow, but I think it makes up for that, to be honest. I don't think that makes big of a difference to this Pokemon. The next pick was the Derby fans with Bolton, the Tier 5 Electric Dog. So at this point, my maths had gone horrendously wrong, and I was trapped to 2 Tier 5s my final 2 picks, because I got my maths wrong. Well done, Drake, so... yeah, this isn't a great pick, but it's Tier 5 for a reason. Its HP and defense aren't great, nor is it special defense, but it's quick and its attack and special attack are good. But it's Tier 5 for a reason, and it's quite evident. Its ability is Strong Draw and competitive. It's not a terrible pick, and I didn't have, but I already had an electric type in Toxicity, so this pick could have been a lot better. I think there's better Tier 5s I could have gone for. But as I say, I was stuck in Tier 5 because my maths is terrible.
I don't think it's that bad of a pick. I mean, yeah, you had another electric type at that point in time. But Strong Draw and Competitive are really nice abilities, especially since both attack stats are at 90. Gives it a chance to run Physical or Special. Can run things like Thunderbolt with Competitive. Volt Switch is a nice way to switch out. Physical side, you got things like Flame Charge to boost its speed even more. Crunch, do some damage. Fire Fang gets boosted by the Strong Jaws. Psychic Fang is boosted by the Strong Jaws. There's a lot of things this thing can do offensively just to cause damage. It can hit pretty decently. Nice speed too. You do have to worry about it taking a hit though, but honestly, not a bad pick and can do some work on the team. Up next, we got the Lunar Mountain Lycanrocs, finishing that Alolan core with Decidueye. Not a bad pick at all. Fills that grass typing that you don't have since you got rid of Appleton. There's a Fire, Water, Grass core for you with the Alolan starters. And honestly, that's a really good core because Dark Ghost and Fairy kind of play off each other pretty nicely too. Access to flying type moves obviously can be annoying with its signature move that can lock you in. So good luck switching out. And then also has access to priority moves like Shadow Sneak to cause problems. Grass Stab is always fun. So I don't know. This could be some damage out there.
Yeah, this is a really good pick. As you was mentioning, it plays off very well. It's Alolan counterparts and Primarina and Incineroar. That's a very solid trio. You're lucky that my maths is terrible, first because I was looking at this thing because I like it. Long Reach and Overgrow aren't terrible abilities. As a star, it's got very nice stats all around. It does get access to flying items. This is actually a really solid pick, and I like it very much, and I'm a bit jealous that you've got it. Then your final pick was a traded. It was Sylveon, which traded for Hitmonchan, I think.
Yes, sir.
Look at me, know my things. Hitmonchan, the Tier 5 fighting type, who pretty poor HP stats, but that's made up for its attack and special defense stats. I like this. Gets a good array of punching moves, like it gets Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, good array of moves. Iron Fist as an ability is very solid. As well gets Keen Eye, which is quite useful. Defense and speed ain't terrible, but special attack, it is terrible. But it's Hitmonchan, it's not special.
You talking?
No, I was just finished.
Okay. I thought you just cut out. I honestly like the Sylveon pick, to be fair, but I like the Hitmonchan trade a lot better. Keen Eye is never going to be used. It's always going to be Iron Fist, 100%. Never going to bring anything else. And even lowering evasiveness is not too bad. It can set up speed with agility to mitigate its slow speed stat, which can make it pretty useful. You're looking at 400 something if it's max speed, so it can do a lot of work. That way, honestly, Iron Fist pairs well with things like Bullet. Well, I guess it doesn't get boosted by Bullet Punch, but it can do things like Drain Punch, Fire Punch, Elemental Punch, Punch Power Up Punch. Got access to things like Rock Slide, Throat Chop to cover those noise things that are coming out. High Jump Kick for nice damage. Fake Out even. Facade if you want to run something cheeky like Toxic Orb. I don't know. It can do a lot of different things. And this thing is an absolute defensive unit. Speaking for somebody who's used it before and run at max special defense with Assault Vest, it can just sit there and not die. So Hitmonchan kind of busted, fits the team well, didn't have a fighting type, which is nice coverage. Honestly, it's too sad that it's not fighting this team because it would do an absolute unit on all these rock types out there. But still a nice pick. Fighting type's always nice to have, and surprised Sylveon was the one traded away here and not something else, but we'll see how it goes. Up next, Derby Dawn fans choosing the L-Wool. I'm not going to call it the right word because it's L-Wool. Taking those L's because it sucks. It's why it's tier 5. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually not a bad Pokemon, to be fair. I just don't like it. Nice defensive stats. Honestly, the thing doesn't die, and that can be really annoying. Fluffy, nice ability. Steadfast, flinching, speed boost, could be useful. Bulletproof, gets rid of ballistics. Nice abilities. Very tanky. You're 100% going to see this Cotton Guard Body Press. Like I don't see anything else coming. Swords Dance if you want to set up the other way. Very nice defensive Pokemon. Can do some trickery as well, but other than that, not much to say. Normal types kind of work, and this one is a nice defensive staple on this team. With a team that's kind of mixed around, so not a bad grab, honestly. Never hurts to have a little bit more defense.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned in my last pick with Bolton, I got my maths a bit wrong and I was stuck to tier 5. And I was looking down the list, there was nothing that really tickled me pickle, and I thought, well, I've picked me needs, I can pick a filler, so I went for me filler and I went for a double. One of my all-time favourite Pokemon now. Sorry, Chaos, that is the reason you don't like it.
Yep. I'm part of it.
So, just part of the factor. But as you said, it's not actually terrible, but like, it's got good abilities. Defense is solid. It will cause problems. Don't know actually how much I'm going to use it because there's better options, I think, on my team for being a bit of a solid defense. But it rounds out my defense quite nicely, which was probably one of the things I'd abandoned a bit more. And over things, I think I went for a bit of an attack-heavy, strong special attack and attack team. So it's quite good that I brought a bit more of a defensive mon in. I think it rounded out my team there nicely, and could quite clearly see panic in my working out as I quickly realised, oh dear, maths is terrible. So the next pick, the second to last, the penultimate pick, was a tier 5 evolution in Leafeon. First and foremost, its attack and defense are both above 100, and I think one's 130. Can't remember which way around it is. It's very good. It's got chlorophyll, which obviously is concerning for us with Sun Team. Sorry, it's a good one. It's let down a bit by the special defense and special attack, but once again, Leafeon, I don't expect we'll see as much special attacker. Alright, this pick rounds out his team quite nicely, especially as he got rid of a Roach Raid. It pairs quite nicely with his team. I think this is a good pick.
Yeah, it honestly goes well with that Tangrowth, I think, more than anything else. Simply because you have two great options of grass types here. If you want more defense, you take Tangrowth. You want more offense, you take Leafeon. This thing gets access to Solar Blade, and if it's in the sun, it's going to hit first, and you're going to die. Like, that's just how it is. Like, honestly, you're not living that. So, Leafeon, very cracked in sun. Fits the team nicely. You're going to see this thing paired with Torkoal way too often. But also can hold its own. As Tui said, nice attack stat. So can be used outside of sun, not as effectively, but it still can be used pretty well. Again, access to all those evolution things as in screens and toxic and quick attack and other wombo combo stuff. So there's a lot that it can do. Honestly, fits the team nicely. Can't complain about it. This is a nice team. Move on to the final pick of the draft, which is Detroit Red Wings. It sucks to have the first pick. You get the last pick. And here we go. We got Nidoking. Again, I was kind of feeling the previous season blues. Picked up some old Mons. Emphasis on blues because, pun intended. Nidoking's here, and he's going to do some work. He's got some sheer force shenanigans that are going to cause massive problems. Great coverage. A poison type to deal with those fairies. Really cool ground physical Pokemon that, it gives me a little bit more utility in that sense. Access to Stealth Rocks, access to a lot of coverage moves. Can be run specially if you want to be absolutely a mad lad, which I will be at some point in time. So week 1, you can get ready to see a special Nidoking coming to the field because he's going to whop to his team, and it's going to be a great time. If I'm going to actually do that, I don't know. Check out next week when week 1 starts and see if I actually bring it.
Please don't bring it. Do us a favor. Give me a chance.
I already had bread. It's already bread.
Oh no, that's concerning
I'm just
news for
messing
me.
with you.
This
You
is
don't know
concerning because Nidoking's got very good all-round stats, with it particularly his attack standing out, but all the rest are not terrible. They're very good. Poison, which I don't think you had before on your team. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I did not.
The type coverage you're doing well. I don't think you even had a Gastrodon. So you had a ground type before. It's nice coverage. And I like Nidoking. Get Stealth Rocks, Toxic Spikes. Not 100% sure about. Does get Reflect for certain. I know that. This is a good pick. Will cause problems, and please don't bring it week 1.
You can take that up. You can take that up with my secretary. But my friends, that is going to be the end of the draft. Hope you guys are excited. Let me know what your favorite team is so far. What team you think you're going to win this season. And if you put Darby Don fans, I'm going to look at you funny and lose all respect for you. But if you do enjoy the commentary between Tui and I, you can definitely check us out both on our YouTube channels, our Twitch channels. Follow us both on Twitter. And of course, if you want to see our collaborative stuff, you can check out Invisible Corporations, where we've done projects together over there too. A bunch of great guys. Definitely check it out. All of the stuff is on the screen there for you to grab. So feel free to check all of those out and hit that like button if you enjoyed this stream. Next week, we will be back with the one and only Image Tortuga doing the double side of this. It's going to be a little bit longer. I jokingly said double the time. It's fair because there's 7 competitors in that season, so it's going to be a lot. But thank you guys for hanging out and checking out. Hope you enjoyed the commentary. If you have any recommendations or thoughts about the commentary, let us know. We'd love to chat with you. And of course, look forward to, in 2 weeks, the first week, full week of July. It's going to be starting this July 4th starts the battles for PDL season 6, both singles and doubles. Next week, we'll be here doing that podcast to kick off the league and to have a good time and to break down doubles. So if you want to see more of Tubi's side of things, my side of things, I know mine's going to be recorded and uploaded here. You can check that out. Tubi, if you're doing the same thing, check it out.
Try.
And of course, I think both Soy and Chaotic Wolf are going to be uploading their sites too. So check out all our coaches. You're going to see awesome sides. And, even if you watch a battle on one person's channel, you don't know what the other side of the battle is going to be. So you're going to see a lot of fun stuff with PDL coming up. I'm excited for it. I'm also incredibly annoyed with it because it's taking a lot of time, but it's fun. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. If you want to catch more, I have all of my seasons documented on my channel with their own playlists, so you can check all those out. But thank you guys for supporting the channels. Thank you guys for supporting PDL. And we look forward to a lot more fun and interesting battles. We're going to see the heat coming. And honestly, I would say watch out for those Dawn fans.
Oh, yes. Go on.
I mean, watch out for them watching them burn in the dumpster.
That was harsh. Yeah, but yeah, I don't have a great track record in draft leagues.
No, not really. Anything you want to say before we wrap up, bud? You go ahead.
It's been I think it's been one of our better podcasts that we've done for PDL. I'm looking forward. Hopefully I'll go PDL season 1 on you. Bring back Emus.
Podcast, Invisible Corporations podcast. What? Sorry.
We need to bring that back soon. We actually need to do that. Yeah, but we'll talk about that at some point. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to not getting beaten too badly and whipping all of your candy backsides, because I will be bringing the championship home to England. It's coming home. No, that's football. That is coming home.
That's football.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, follow me on Twitter. That's all I upload on.
I totally didn't flash the Invisible Corporations podcast thing on there while this was going up. I think I've covered everything, so thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it. Go over to twitch.tv/chaos6 right now. You can see another stream. Have fun. See you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And until then, my name's Chaos. Stay safe, and as always, his name's Tui. I forgot to say that. I'm not used to doing multi-person stream. His name's Tui. Check us both out. Stay safe as always. Woo! Yes. See you. Got him.